10th minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hashtag Real Race Talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Once again, Monday Night Live, the original, the best, the award-winning show everybody's come to love. This is indeed the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime Bobby Chaffee down south, the Iceman Rodney Rodriguez north in the Northern Command studios there at the Revved Up studios. So little separate studios tonight, but we'll make it all work, make it all happen.
Hi, friends. Welcome into another Monday. Got a little cold on us, but nothing is going to stop this program from happening as we get into the holidays. We got a good one tonight, you guys. Little Robbie Starnes was your winner on Saturday night there at a very loaded South Texas shootout. He's going to join us, talk some late model racing. And around 7:10 last week, if you were a part of the show, stems. What is stems? What is stems? Stems and seeds. No, we ain't talking that shit here. But you do find out what stems is, and it ain't either one of us that's going to tell you. So you'll find that out at 7:10. Then at 7:30, you'll find out the new date and details for the Baby Blue Harcrow Memorial with Marcus Harcrow. He will join us, and as you could tell right there, I'm not telling you who the stems person is until that person joins. So otherwise, that's about all we got. So welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Man, Corpus looked packed. Corpus looked jammed, didn't it?
It really did. I had a couple of logistical issues keeping me from going down there. But from everything I watched on Race on Texas, looks like the crowd was good. Car count was outstandingly amazing. And so I think everything worked out as best as it could to end the racing season around here till we get fired up here coming up in January.
Oh, it looked awful slick. Looked awful slick over there on Saturday night. I knew I did them a little pre-race, about all that I was good for this weekend for them. And I had been watching some of the weather stuff, and I knew it was going to get awful windy and it was going to get cool. And, man, it slicked up, and it looked like they were having one hell of a time. But, they got after it. They got after it. And you're right, man. The place was packed in the pits. I think 210, or something like that. It was 191 on Friday. So, that tells you what kind of show they got going on over there. It's like people really want to get to Corpus now. That really is the end of the season thing. And I, for one, am glad that it happens there because that is really a great place to end the season that way. There's no better way or no better place, in my opinion.
Well, I think just the way that it shakes out, right? You're a couple of weeks before Christmas. A couple of weeks before bowl games, all you had going on head-to-head in terms of college football was the Heisman race, right? The Hypesman for this year. Nobody really cared because there really wasn't one superstar above the rest, so it was an average Heisman voting year. So you didn't have any football other than Army-Navy, but that was an afternoon game. So I think that, you didn't have a lot of college football. A lot of NFL was running on Saturday night, so it was the perfect storm to come in and make it a really, really good night of racing action or weekend of racing action down there at the race ranch.
Dude, it really was, man. It was some really good stuff. And yeah, and that's the thing. I think with an event like that, Heisman, all that bullshit, who cares? But I think when you have something like that, because that group of people, I mean, they don't care about any of that. I mean, it's going to be, I mean, they're diehards. And from everything that I was told and just kind of listening into right there, I think that next year it's going to be even bigger. I mean, because I think you're going to get a lot of the North influx of people that are going to come in and want to be a part of that. And it's going to be damn good, man. But it did not disappoint. It absolutely did not disappoint.
Well, I think the car counts in all the classes were good. Obviously, they had a bunch of limiteds, a bunch of factory stocks, but I thought all in all, I thought a really, really good turnout for the late models.
Yeah.
Both nights there. So, I mean, I think that I don't know if it's because it was the purse, it's because Owen tried harder this time. That Southern Crate late model deal just never took off like it should have.
Yeah.
4 or 5 cars, sometimes 7 cars a race. It just didn't take off like it should, but I mean, to have 24, 25 late models there, timing in on a Friday night and a Saturday. I had a couple more on Saturday, but I mean, I thought that was impressive to get that many late models down there.
It was, man. And I got to tell you, I think things could be on the upswing. I mentioned during the weekend right there, something that I knew about was going on with my partners over at RDC with Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance. Now the official engine supplier and series sponsor of Crate Racing USA, which is right there along the southeast coast area right there. And I actually have a meeting set, I believe it's on Wednesday, with the series organizer, the series director right there. And it is very much on the target board right there to get that series into Texas and coming in here and bringing that point fund into Texas and nailing some Texas tracks. So maybe that's something right there that will help that get along. But again, I know I read where Stephen Whitaker was talking about, with the open motor, and apparently there was a bunch of shit, that he was catching. So he goes and puts, Doyon 604 in there. They couldn't quite get it up to speed, but it, all of that. I mean, that's a pretty tough deal over there to where it's very different. And that's where what I did figure out when I went to Louisiana and Mississippi for some of that stuff, where over there it's crate. And they don't do the open unless it's a super late model. I mean, the super late models, they open those bitches wide open and they go at it. But this could be something I think that's going to benefit Texas. And guess who gets to lead the charge? See what I get for volunteering? So anyway, something hopefully that will help Texas out. But limited modifieds, man, it was just... I mean, it was a stacked field of those bad boys. I mean, they got out there, got after. Felt horrible for Ray Allen Kahonic. But, hey, Cody Smith wins again 2 years in a row. But that field did not disappoint at all.
We've often questioned the status of the limited modifieds here in the great state of Texas. Obviously, they're there. They're around. We had that many of them show up down in Corpus, and they all took the tops off.
Yeah,
that made for a hell of a show. Definitely way more cars than what I anticipated showing up down there. So, especially with a little bit of the rule change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had a little bit of we're going to support the racers to support us. This is the rules we're going to run. Typical bitching and moaning online, on Facebook, social media, but still the cars still showed up and they showed out in a big way there with the limited modified car count.
Yeah. And with the late models, we'll talk to little Robbie here in just a few minutes and kind of get the idea on all of that right there. I do want to ask you, we don't get into a lot of mainstream stuff here, except now this time of year, once our stuff kind of starts to stop. But Tony Stewart to the Top Fuel thing. So now here's Tony's opportunity yet to conquer something else. Leah wants to go, have a kid or whatever they're planning to do right there. I jokingly said on X, and people didn't find it funny, where I'm like, I hope he doesn't rattle his nuts too much in that Top Fuel to where it's going to impede the progress of impregnating said Leah. But anyway, your thoughts on that? I mean, the dude, hell, he can do anything else. I mean, why the hell not try this, I guess? It's his team. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, I guess.
I mean, he's a little past his prime, right, in terms of his, prime racing opportunities, in my opinion. But he's got a chance, man. If he wins that title, that would be amazing.
Oh, dude.
Well, he's gonna hell if he wins a race, he'll be the first guy to win an IndyCar race, a Cup race, and an NHRA race, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, you want to talk
Much
about
less a title. You win a race. If he wins just one final round, that'll be impressive in itself.
And he's won like endurance races and shit, hadn't he? I mean, he's been a part of all of those as well. I mean, I think some of that kind of floats under the radar. And hell, if he's able to do that, he'll probably go try to run Indy again. And he came close to winning Indianapolis. I mean, so tells you how good this dude is. Hey, a lot of folks checking in already, man. We've got Michael Lindsay, man. I tell you, dude, that sucked, man. I was ready to park myself in that turn 5 bar, and but that didn't work out. Chris Walters, Shane, my man Shane is there. Mike Knotts at the Bill Miller barbecue. There you go, right there, man. That's good tea. It's good tea. I'm a barbecue snob, so I'm not. It's good stuff. I mean, it's good stuff. Thank you, Lauren. Yes, I am much better. Wednesday, Thursday was not a good thing. It was shit, dude. That Florida funk is something else.
That's what you got. You got a little bit of that snowball fever when you got back.
Well,
that's what happened.
I got to tell you. So
same shit happens at the Chili Bowl,
dude. I saw. So I saw something on Facebook over the weekend. My man Alan Dietz was saying something about an anniversary, and he said it sucks celebrating it in bed or whatever. I called him up, and dude had COVID, and it's like, oh man, and he's like, almost everybody in that press box got sick. And I'm like, okay, well then I don't feel so bad. But yeah, no, everything's good, man. I mean, I felt loved, man, when everything went down, with all of that. I think people thought like I was like dying or something, and it was like, no, it's not quite that bad. I don't feel well, but I'm good. I'm good. Good way to lose weight, I'll tell you that. It's a real good way to lose weight.
Well, there's other healthier ways, but yeah. When you're stuck in bed for a couple, and that's unlike you to be stuck in bed for a couple of days.
Oh, so. Man, it's like one of those things. I've dropped, I don't know, 10, 12 pounds. Haven't worked out in 2.5 weeks. Of course, the other part of it is ain't had a beer in 6 days. So I think all of these factors have me. Man, this clean living thing is shit. Underrated, I guess.
Clean living, right? That's going to be the new motto. It's going to go from real race talk to clean living here on the Revved Up Sports Show.
Clean living. I tell you, man. It's like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, God damn, I don't have a headache. What the hell? The one day I did have a headache. I mean, it was like a different headache. I would have rather had the other kind of headache. But it's like, yeah, dang. But anyway, everything's good. Thank you all for checking in. But yeah, very, very good. Very good stuff. Very good stuff that we saw over there at the South Texas Race Ranch. And good for Owen, man. I know I can only imagine how he was, because you know how he gets on race days. And I was thinking about him on Friday night, because when I saw all those heat races that they had to run, I'm thinking this dude has to be pulling his hair out trying to get all that shit done, because it did. It ran late. I mean, obviously it ran late, but that's expected, on a show like that.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that many cars, that many B mains you got to run, especially running up there on Saturday. With a couple of different B mains. I mean, that's right. It's that ultimate promoter's catch-22. The good news, you got a shit ton of cars down at your racetrack.
Yep.
Bad news is you got a shit ton of cars at your racetrack. You got to do something with them.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's exactly what he was dealing with, and it really seemed like from everything that I saw, they did it extremely well. Bobby, I'll tell you who else had a good weekend over there. It looked like our friends over there, On Demand Shirts, man. They had everything loaded up and ready to go. So, man, looked like a great weekend. Lots of cool stuff, and good for ODS, man. That's top-notch stuff right there.
Yeah, no, some of the best in the business, and we're happy to be associated with them and all the stuff they do for us here at the Revved Up Sports Show.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's dive in. We were talking about the late models. Late models getting after it there at the race ranch. This is a dude that takes care of it on Saturday night. Saturday night, had a great weekend. Well, we'll let him break it all down. Welcome into the Revved Up Sports Show. For the first time, it is our man. I love introducing this guy, Little Robbie Starnes on the Revved Up Sports Show.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing, brother?
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely, dude. Walk us through the weekend, dude. First, talk about, were you impressed when you pulled up in there and there's damn cars everywhere?
Man, it was crazy. I thought I was going to be one of the first ones there. We pulled in at Thursday for practice, like at 4 p.m. And dude, there wasn't even enough room to get in the pits. So we had to park outside.
Damn.
So yeah, it was crazy. Like I was mind blown. Like, but man, what an awesome track though. Corpus. That was my first time going there, and it was awesome. And
Good stuff.
appreciate Owen Pittman for having the late models, and glad they had a good car count, and he did a good job. There was a lot of cars there. I thought he ran a good show. Everybody was at the staging lane. One right after another. Wasn't no time wasted really. So that makes a big difference.
Sure does. Sure does.
So, Robbie, talk about the late models as a whole. We'll get to the race weekend here in a minute, but we've seen, especially down south, right, when you try to run at Texana and Cotton Bowl and 105 and even Corpus, the late model count has just fluctuated, right? Some of the bigger shows get lots of cars. Sometimes 37 gets a lot of cars. Texana had 4 or 5 one night. What is it about trying to build the consistency with the late models? Is it a purse thing? Is it a schedule thing? I mean, what's it going to take to get 25 cars down here on a consistent basis at all these dirt tracks in South Texas?
And I'm taking notes.
Well, here's the thing. Money is everything. Especially when you're racing late models. It's hard to drive 4 or 5, hours for 1,000 to win. But if it pays good back, that's great. But man, these things are a tire is $247.
Wow.
That's just for one tire.
Shit.
We burn up, I think Saturday we burn up 4 tires. So, they're done. And really it's just money, the biggest thing, and having it at a consistent basis. It's hard for a guy to go to 1,000 to win and don't do good. And maybe the tires, you can run them maybe 2 or 3 races if the track don't burn them up. But you can't go to a track for a guy that spends that much money and, burn up a set of tires and don't do good, and you only get $200. And if you do that for a while, they're like, man, what am I doing? But I think if the money can get up there at a consistent basis, like, 2,000 a win, good paying back, and just for a year, I know it's hard for the promoters and everything, but like really it's just the money thing. And the time and effort that it takes to go on these cars. And it's just, really it's the money. That's all it is to it. We love doing it. It's tough. But for my opinion, I think that's the biggest thing. But that's just my opinion. But.
No, I get that, and my question for you, along with like what Bobby's talking about right there. So do you think it's more? Would it be better to have, because I know there have been attempts at like a series, to have like a series that pays like this massive point fund, or is it better to download it a little more, where you're talking about, to where it's more to win on regular races and maybe not the quite as massive point fund at the end of the season?
Yeah, for a racer, we're week to week.
Yeah.
Like we got to have some of that money back.
Yeah.
To go to the next week. So the points fund, I think. If you can have both, that's even better, because with late models, you got to have, the money is the biggest thing. You got to have money week to week, and then for a points fund, that's even another bonus. So I think if you do both, you'll get more late models to go to these shows and invest in late models. They're awesome. They're really competitive. They're, if you're, they're a great car. Everybody likes late models, so but they're just expensive, and you need more money just every week. That's all it boils down to. Everybody I talk to is the cost. But don't get me wrong. I don't know. That's what it all boils down to in my book. I don't know.
It always does. Yeah. Yep.
Where's the cost fit in the hierarchy compared to like a sprint car, a big mod or like an open motored modified or something like that, where's the cost for the late model fit in there? Does it cost a little more, cost a little less, or all cost about the same when you get that high up the food chain?
Well, I mean, I think, I mean, if you buy a roller, I think I priced one when I was running iRacing because I like sprint cars. But I priced a roller at that time. I don't know what they are now, but they're like $20,000 for a roller.
Honey hush.
And for which that's for a sprint car. Well, their motors, that's a lot more money. Probably, I mean, about the same as probably a super late model, but for a roller, a brand new roller for like Rocket or something is like 42,000 or something like that. So, and that aspect it's a lot higher. But you can get a good used car and be just as good as a new car, like a used XR1 or whatever that somebody had. Mine's a 2017. So and it's still going good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we bought that for like 18,000. So at that time, they're cheaper now. You can get them for like 15. So
So speaking of going good, let's talk about Corpus. You had the Friday night show, and then that Saturday, dude. The Saturday, you can start wherever you want to start. I mean, if you want to start with Saturday, it's totally up to you. Because that Saturday, man, that's some hellacious racing right there.
Yeah. Friday night, we just had a bad night. My biggest deal is qualifying. I can't get my car to turn, and I mean, I guess it's on me. I don't take the extreme to make it turn because it's pretty good in the slick. But when you time in 14th, it's you and that track it wasn't very, you couldn't really pass that good. And anyway, I wasn't that great anyway Friday night, but Saturday I changed some stuff on the car and got it to turn better, and timed in good. That's the biggest key on crate racing is you got to turn at least timing in anyway.
Yeah.
And we got it to turn, and got third fastest and put us good in the heat, and was doing really good won the heat and started outside front row. And I was kind of worried about that because I thought, because Dean's a hell of a driver. So I was like, man, I got to get a good start. I got to beat him in the, and turn one, because I mean, it was kind of one lane, and, but I got a good start and car was good.
Yeah.
And ended up winning. And then I got passed. I seen my dad on the caution telling me to, go lower. And I'm like, man, somebody must be on me, And anyways, he the 91 car got by me, and luckily lap traffic played into my favor. So I mean, that's what I did. I tried to get as close as I can to him, and just waiting for a mess up. And man, that opportunity happened, and I took my shot. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was great. We needed it, especially for our racing program. I haven't been doing that great this year, so it was a good way to end the year. That's for sure.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what's in store for 2024? Obviously, this is like I said, good way, a hell of a lot of momentum to end the season. Is it a race by race scenario for you guys with funding issues or funding needs? How do you determine your 2024 schedule from here?
Well, I think how we determine, I mean, the funding is we're going to try to put some money back to race more. I mean, this year we had some issues with the trailer or whatever. We'd have raced more, but yeah, our plans is probably run the American Crate Series and really just whatever. I have to look at all the schedules and stuff that comes out. Maybe there's some bigger races kind of close, and I'd like to go to Why Not for whatever, if they got a big crate race there, or Why Not's a good play, or put my open motor in. I might do the fall classic there. Hopefully it's at the end of the year, so if we got money for it, we'll probably go. But
yeah. So
but yeah,
go
ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, just in that, and I think I heard Rob Litton was going to start up a series in Louisiana, like to race every other week for like 2,000. So we may, hit up some of those or something, or
Yeah.
But
So you mentioned your dad. Obviously, your little Robbie Starnes is
Yeah,
what we say. So, man, that's cool, right? Isn't that's the best part of doing this shit? Is that you get to do it? You get to do it with the dude you love, man. That's what it's all
yeah,
about.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my dad, without him, he was my hero. Growing up, he still is. But watching him race, he raced he started racing when he was 15. So, I grew up as a little baby scraping mud.
Yeah.
So, I went to all his races, and he did it for a living for 6 years. So, I got to do all that with him, and I mean, that's the beautiful thing about racing. It's a family sport. And we got a lot of memories. With my dad and my brother and my cousin Keith. He went out with us a lot. So, I mean, it was good times. And it still is. We're making memories. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think that the family dynamic is there, regardless of what you race.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether you race a hobby stock or you race a late model,
yeah.
It's like it almost has to be there to make it enjoyable, right? You have a tendency to see the families that race together. They don't seem to have the arguments over Thanksgiving dinner like some of these other families do.
No. No. They're one mind. They're one mind. We always want to talk about racing. So and that's true. That's we have a strong connection with my dad, my brother, everybody, my Keith, that's all we talk about is racing, and whatever. It does build a strong bond, between all of us. So
yeah.
It's
Robbie, when it comes to the crate late models, with that, how much of that? I mean, obviously track conditioned and all that, and I know with open motors and all that. I mean, totally get all of that. With crate racing, how much of it momentum based with those? I mean, because it's a certain RPM that you're going to run. I mean, that you're going to hit. How much of that is momentum based, and can one of those pull you out of the hole when you really have to get out of the hole?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like when I was timing in, if I had and it was some more horsepower, I could have throttled out of it. These crates you can't. You got to have it free. But I mean, if you can get it right, I mean, if you can get your car right, I mean, it is an advantage on that. Like I feel like Friday, if I had a motor to throttle out of that push, that would have been good. But. That wasn't the case. I had a crate, but you got to set up too for it. You got to set up your car to turn. And I feel like if I got my car to turn, I feel like I'd have put in a decent lap. On those races, qualifying is pretty much everything. You got to start up front. Especially on a track that has a lot of momentum. It's just hard to pass. Everybody's close to the same. You look at the lap times; they're not that far off. So. You just qualifying everything, and if you got an open motor and you can throttle out of a push, that's an advantage. But I mean, there's advantages and then there's disadvantage to both.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand. The situation. He's trying to get cars there.
Yeah.
And I can see both sides, when you come to a race, you want an even playing field, you want everybody to be the same. And even if it is the same, you're still going to have somebody say something about it, no matter what. As far, look, Bo, he had a straightaway, and he got a crate.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like, if I get there and all the crate cars are a second off, and I'm going to be complaining then,
Yeah.
We didn't drive 4 hours over there to, to get, to just get whooped. But I mean, it wasn't, I think, I don't know. I mean, Bo was awesome over there. After the races, you could hear everybody that was talking about it, like, man, they're all talking about, Whitaker got this big open motor, and man, look at Bo, he had a crate, he was gone, So I don't know. You always got people talking like that, and I'm kind of neutral on the deal. I know the situation on both sides, so long as you just ain't just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
is okay with me, because I raced the Cody, with the South Texas or STLMS series, and they had a lot of open motors there, and it wasn't bad. I mean, man, we won some races there, and it was it was pretty even. I mean,
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, there's some advantages to it, and then there's some disadvantage on both sides. So
well, and I think like what you're talking about right there, kind of to your point, that's why you pay the purse down. I mean, instead of 2,000 to win and 100 for second. I mean, you pay that thing down with a little bit of balance in there.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, well. Yeah, that is a good thing. And don't get me wrong. I'd rather just be all crates, because when I go there, I don't want to go there and just have it in my mind that somebody's got an advantage over me. Because I go there to win.
Yeah.
Like I think every racer goes there to win. And if you think that they got an advantage over it, so they're gonna bitch.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go there and not having I just want it even. Everybody just wants the field to be all crates.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand the situation too. Like hell, if you got to have if you got to change the rules a little bit to get more car count, I mean, that's just the nature of the situation. But
yeah,
I mean, I understand that. But like you said, yeah, it's good to have the pay down too, because you go there and the track's hammered down. It might not be an advantage for the crate guys, but at least it pays good going down.
Yep.
That's a good thing.
Yep, no doubt.
Too.
Bobby, you got one more, my man?
I just know he's got people to thank to make it happen, other than friends and family. Now's your chance to thank them.
Yeah, I'd like to thank First Class Septic, Day Motorsports, Keith Orange Racing, who else? 77 Inc. And that's about it.
So you do it right there, man.
Yeah, right. And I thank Marty. He's always helping. Marty Giles, he's always helping us and putting in a lot of time and effort. So
yeah,
him too.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Hell of a weekend, my friend. Congratulations on winning. Best race of the night, dude. By far.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Y'all tear that thing apart, get her put back together, man, and I'm sure that we will see you very, very soon, my friend. Thanks for being a part of this, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.
You got it, dude. Take care, brother. Y'all have a great Christmas.
Okay, you too.
All right,
you too.
Man. Take care.
All right, you too.
You bet. There he goes. Little Robbie Starnes, as he joins us here on the Revved Up Sports Show. Good stuff right there from him. He did, man. He had a good weekend. That race on Saturday night really was a very good one. A very good one that we saw from him.
Yeah, well, it's good from Jared too. I mean, that dude. When I saw him down there at the Derby, I'm like, put that dude in an asphalt car and see what he could do on pavement. Right? We know he's good on dirt. He gets in a late model for the second time ever. Should have won the damn thing, but got caught up in some lap traffic.
Yeah.
And then tore up the front end. But man, I want to see Jared in a pavement car, not just like a fast pavement car, like put him in a modified or a late model or something like that.
Modified.
He'd whip their ass in a truck.
Modified would be great. He'd be bored in a truck. I mean, I honestly think. Because I was talking. Our man Flying Ryan Colby from RDC. He drove a pro late model, and I was having a couple of cocktails with him on Saturday night, and I'm like, dude, how is this thing? And he's like, it won't go anywhere. He's used to driving one of the 604 late models, and he's like, it won't go. It won't go. He said you have to finesse this thing, man. It's like massaging it. I think Moppin and I was down when I ran into Moppin and a couple of other dudes over there, and they said, Jared thinks this is pretty easy. So yeah, I would love to see. I mean, that dude. That'd be another honeycut. I promise you that would be another Canadian honeycut right there. That dude right there. I mean, geez, Louise. Think about that, man. Those two guys that we have, right? A lot of other ones. I mean, a lot of other ones. But to see him make that jump into a paved car, man, I think that would be amazing to see.
I wonder if Rick's got that old modified left. Valero let him race one they modified. That'd be fun. Or even an outlaw. He could give Barker a run for his money in an outlaw.
I bet Rick doesn't have it anymore because he would have driven it by now. he'd have put him in it by now. He would have put him in it by now. Hey, before we dive in, because we got the stems. The stems is coming up. You asked and so you'll receive. So that's going to be coming up here pretty quick. But before we do that, how about a word from ODS? All that good looking stuff right there, on-demand shirts right out of San Antonio. This is the time in the off season. If you need to get all of your paraphernalia, go ahead and contact James and all those folks, and they'll get the designs done for you and get you all hooked up and get you looking good.
By a poll, since we got quite a few people on both streams here that I'm looking at, how many of you guys would actually purchase an old school, Highway 16 Raceway shirt, the old ones that said when the green flag drops, the bullshit stops? How many of y'all would buy one of those shirts like that? Because that's an idea that we've been throwing around here for a couple of months, trying to figure out ways to bring back some retro racing t-shirts. And that's probably the first one that comes to mind, is that one from Highway 16.
God, I love that story. Oh man, if you guys, I mean, I knew the story. I mean, I know the story. I've known the story for a long time, and I lived through the story. But I was a young lad back in the day, and I know that Nick Holt's been on here, and we've had a few different people that have come on and told that story. If you guys ever want to hear that story, I'm happy to tell that story on here, man, because that was, oh my goodness, those were the days. And I mean, I think if you saw the Lost Speedway San Antonio Raceway, SAS, it was on there as well. But man, those were the days. Golly, man, that you think about that time in San Antonio pavement racing, to where you had, when you had Pan American, and then the way, you know, that for all the keyboard warriors that we talk about these days, that, you know, where they're always bitching and complaining and all these different things, all the people that do that back then, I mean, there was no keyboard, there was none of that. They didn't like the situation. They went and built their own fucking track. They went and now that is how you do it. If you're really that mad, if you really don't like the situation or whatever the hell's going on, do that. Do that. Don't lift that keyboard up. Go find a patch of land out in whatever county you're in. Get some investors. It took, that was 1976, 1976.
23, wasn't it? 23 or 17?
I think it was somewhere between 23 and 28 is what it took. You had to have one dude. You had to have one dude that had the balls to lead the whole thing. Get that guy that wasn't afraid to go talk shit to the other guy face to face, and boom, there you go. And they put the other dude out of business. That's how you do it. I'm not saying revolt or anything like that, but I'm just saying that's the way, you know, it happened.
Because you couldn't get more polar opposites from Highway 16 from Pan American.
It, you know, it was one of those things, and it was very much a culture shock, you know, with the change right there, because the way that you had the different tracks and so forth. I mean, it was a polar opposite. I mean, they went and they did everything opposite of what Pan American was, and man, those were good times, good stories that we'll recount here at some point in the off season. Okay, you guys, you were here. I mean, we did it last week. We were inquisitive. We played the breaking news, and the modifieds are always something that we have that conversation all the time on here about how do we grow the modified count and so forth and so on, and what needs to happen. And then we see a post We see a post, and it was while I was out of state, Bobby was busy, and it's like, man, there's no time to react. So it comes up last week, and everybody's asking questions. We're like, we don't know. We didn't know anything about that. We didn't know anything about the new chassis. Oh, by the way, that guy's coming on as well. Give me 2 weeks. But all right, time to get some details. When you want to find out something, you tune into this program. Let's get some details right here. Let's welcome in our man, Jacob Horch. You know the name. I mean, you know the name, you know the face. When I figured out who it was, when my nosy ass finally figured out who it was, my word to him was, oh man, I like this. I like this a lot. And Jacob, before we even get into details, I was stalking your racing page, and I saw a post on August 26th where you dropped the bait saying, what do we need to do to get more than 5 or 6 modifieds at these big shows? You were dropping that hint, man. Tell us how this all came together.
Yeah, thanks, Rodney, for having me on here.
Absolutely.
So pretty much this last year we've been going to Cotton Bowl, Texana, a little bit of I-37, and a lot of the same guys race with each other, and it's hit or miss whether we show up or not. Or it's been a long time coming of, hey, we've got 6A modified showing up, and what do we do? What can we do to get us all together at the same tracks? Because everyone wants to run modifieds every weekend, and they split us all up, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I reached out to Marianne and some of the guys at the other tracks and was like, hey, just throw it out there. What can we do? And they're like, oh, well, someone wants to bring us an idea. We're welcome to listen to it.
That's always the answer.
All right, well, I'll do it. And I got with Jim Stannard at IMCA, and I was like, hey, what do you suggest we do? And he was on board with, hey, let's, you can try to do a series, whether it's a partial season or a full season. And the tracks were down to do a full season of racing for modified. So we'll hit I-37, Cotton Bowl, Texana, South Texas Race Ranch, and hopefully 105. Mainly I-37, Cotton Bowl, and Texana, but all the southern tracks that you've got, I think we already have 16 drivers that are committed to running. So hopefully everyone shows up and we're able to put on some decent shows.
Nice.
So Jacob, you're not going to be the first guy that's gone from racer to promoter. I've experienced firsthand helping with the old limited modified series when we switched to asphalt. How much of that racer mentality is it the racer mentality that's going to come first, where you're going to look at what's good for the racer is good for the series? Is that the main goal right now, or is it more about we need to get more cars at more tracks to get a higher purse? What's the more important goal right
I'm pretty much I was just the one that kind of came up with the idea and kind of set things in motion. Actually, Branson Pittman, who's been running the late model series, he's going to be the kind of the promoter on this. I was just the one that put it all together and kind of made it happen, and I'll be kind of 50-50. I don't want to touch any of the politics or the money or anything like that. It was just like, hey, you want to get something done, you gotta do it yourself, and that's what we did. So I won't be necessarily making all the decisions. Everything on the track's going to be him and the tracks. I'm just going to be there to race and to have fun. I just wanted to find something to support the class. So that's what we did.
Jacob, I think one of the most important things that you did, because, there's always attempts and people do a great job, building things. But I think the fact that you went to IMCA, because I think it's truly imperative. They have to be a part of this. I mean, especially with the big mods and the stock cars, they have to be a part of it, I think.
Yeah. When I talked to Jim, I kind of picked his brain a little bit, and he was saying that as long as it was 100% IMCA and that all the tracks were on board, that they'd support it. And it was one of those things where people were like, hey, what if you allow different shock rules or a weight penalty? And it was like, I'm not messing with it. It's IMCA rules. That's what we got around here. If you want to go run Toms, you can, but for mainly the guys around here, all we have is IMCA, and that's what the tracks will bring. So that's what.
So how's it going to work? Is it going to be point sanctioned, or how's it going to work like that for points? national points, regional points? How's it going to work? Do you know by now?
Yeah, so it'll all be IMCA sanctioned. So we'll still be able to compete just like if you were to travel from Cotton Bowl one weekend to I-37 the next. It's just pretty much following a schedule that the tracks we all came up, and we're still working on the schedule. But it'll be to where IMCA the series pays for the sanctioning, so you get all your points, and no one really has to worry about that. And then we'll have an added like point season bonus for running the series. We'll get sponsors. I think we already have one that'll help pay for the sanctioning fees, and another one that is going to start off the season bonus. So it'll be, all the bonus will go back to the drivers instead of whatever the track set it up.
That's awesome, man. And we always ask the modified guys when we get them on here, and obviously money is we were just talking to Robbie Starnes there about late models and all that. Money is the big evil in this that fucks everything up, that fucks up our fun here.
Yeah.
But for the modifieds, I mean, a lot of it I think has been factory stock and so forth. The explosion of that right there. In your opinion, what's happened? I mean, because truly those are so fun to watch. I mean, the modifieds, man, it's truly that is the top tier. I mean, no offense to the other ones, man, but how has it just gotten to the point where we can't get full fields?
I think back when they split up originally and they made it to where it was, you've got your B mods and your USMTS and IMCA and TOMS, and they made so many different classes and so many rules. And we had our USMTS car, which is the car I drive now, sitting on the rack for like 4 years. But it was like, we don't really want to travel 5 hours to go race, and it's hard to do that. But we ended up getting our car switched over, and the issue I think with the factory stocks is that they're easy. They're you can go rub and go race hard and enjoy and go have a heck of a lot of fun, and go to O'Reilly's on the weekend and switch out your parts if you need to, and it is what it is. But with modified, that's a little different.
Yeah, no doubt.
So tearing up stuff, and it costs some money to replace it, that's for sure. But with bringing them all together and bringing them back, hopefully we can get it to where the series grows and people get more invested into it, and we get bigger sponsors, and we can start having those 5,000 to win or 10,000 win modifieds. But even in that, it's I think some of the issue with the pay is that you have those 5,000 to win races, and it's 5,000 to win, and then it's 1,000 for second, 500 for third, and you end up having guys that are finished sixth and spend 3 days racing to get $80,
Yeah.
And that's where in the season, in the series, we tried to talking to the tracks, split it up, having a guaranteed purse where there's not much difference. You win, it's X amount, and then it's drop $100, and it's, everyone, I think we decided that everyone, that if you showed up and you made the feature, it was $75, which that just pays for your pit passes and, fuel to race. So
yeah,
that helps.
That's awesome.
But I've always been a fan of the 10% rule when it comes to a purse, where your last place position pays 10% of what it pays to win, because it kind of balances out a little bit. So if you got $1,000 purse or $1,000 to win, $100 for the finish dead last kind of works in the middle there.
Yeah,
that's what we tried with the limited modifieds on asphalt. It was about, for a 24 car field, it was about right at 6,000, 5,500 to 6,000.
Yeah,
to do it that way. But it worked though, because Robbie Starr said the same thing that you're saying, is that it's one thing to have a big purse to win, but it's another thing when it just drops off incrementally. If you finish third, and win a couple $100, that's the difference between coming back another week versus keeping it on the trailer at the shop. That's huge. So I think you guys are on the right track in terms of making it more of a tiered down purse to make it more sustainable for the racers.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, with splitting it up, it also helps with the travel. If you're driving, we're normally driving 2.5, 3 hours to just Cotton Bowl and I-37, and because we're in the Houston area, they're out there, and it costs money to drive out there, and it's one of those things where we go out and okay, something breaks, and you drive 3.5 hours back home, and
Yeah.
you got $50, and it's like, well, that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But
Well,
so
I got to tell you though, I mean, I like the 105 down to down into 37. I mean, all that way. I mean, I like that. I mean, I really like the way that lays out. I mean, that's going to be very a very cool setup. So, what's the consensus on guys that maybe have stepped away from modifieds to do factory stock or something else? Is there any idea, have these guys sold their big mods, or they just have them up on a rack, or you have any idea on some of those dudes?
Yeah, just to name a few, Phil Dixon, Jeff Hogue, Dalton Knox, Buster Dean, Jamie McGreen. Those are just 5 guys there that live within 20 minutes of me, that all still have modified sitting on the shelf. That
damn,
it's one of those things where they don't feel like they want to go out and race 6 cars, and it's easier for them to keep it on the shelf than it is to go race. So there's definitely modifieds that are still out there that are ready to come back, that need a few little last pieces, and hopefully we can, as we travel, we can bring a bigger crowd and get some of those guys excited about it again.
No doubt.
So what do you guys think in an average car count? You think 12 cars in the beginning, 10? I mean, I know it's hard to project.
I think we're gonna Owen is gonna have us run with the sprint cars at the beginning of the season. So that'll be kind of our opening. Hey, running down to South Texas and run with the sprint cars and see how many we can bring out there to be like, hey, here we are. Let's put on a good show. And I really don't know what the car count will be. I know I-37's been having 10, 15 cars, Cotton Bowl, 8, 10 cars. Same thing with Texana, and then South Texas Race Ranch. They haven't had many, but I think combined together we should have 15 to 20 cars.
Yeah,
in hopes.
Yeah, you might be able to even pull some of the Waco guys. I mean, if the
Waco, Kennedale, all those guys that they may swing down and come run with us, but they're more northern, and it was, if once we start adding too many tracks, then no one wants to run just 3 races a modified.
Defeats the purpose. Best way for folks, I mean, because I think this is something to where people are going to realize this is a real thing, and that's why I wanted to give you the chance to get on here, because I know every time something like this happens, they're like, oh, here we go again, blah blah blah. But best way for folks to get a hold of, if it's not going to be you, if they want to be a part of this, I mean, whether driver, sponsor, contingency sponsor, whatever the hell, best avenue at this point to get. And Mark's going to be here quick.
So right now, it'd be the Stims Facebook page. It's got we made a little logo. Garrett Gregory hooked us up with that, and we've been kind of updating that as we go. We made a Facebook page and a group as well. We're trying to keep the group limited to more drivers and crew. That way we can try to concentrate on what's important and not really worry about all the drama. But yeah, the Facebook page is open to anyone and everyone, and that's the best way to get a hold of us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking like good stuff, man. I'm excited. Long time overdue, man. I think this is going to work, dude. Good job, man. Excited.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let us know how to help, man. That's what we're here for, brother.
I will. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Roddy.
You got it, man. Take care.
Yes, sir. Bye.
You bet. There he goes. All right, man. There, Bobby. See, everyone there was wondering what it was all about. Sounds pretty legit to me, dude. And you know what's impressive right here is that we've seen other times to where, and where folks want to do something, and ain't nobody on this show ever going to fault anyone for wanting to try to do something. Because, I mean, it's good intentions. It's all it takes a lot. It takes a lot. But it sounds like to me what has happened right here is they went in and they did a lot of the what happens a lot is, okay, I'm going to do this, and then they have then they do the work. Then they start reaching out to drivers. Then they start reaching out to figure out purses and all that. Sounds like they've done this the right way. They did all that shit first, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like they did a lot of research. Well, racers will talk to racers about anything, right? Except when it comes to trade secrets. I mean, and kind of another way to put it is all the racers want the same thing to a certain extent when it comes to the purse, when it comes to kind of a schedule. Everybody knows, they're are going to want the same thing, right? So, I mean, I think that you take that into consideration, that narrows it down to a certain extent to a way that makes it more manageable and a way to open it up to more guys that just, have the stuff sitting on the shelf.
Yeah. And that was the main question. That's why I wanted to ask him right there. It was, because you never know. I mean, I know a lot of guys. I think I saw Raymond McSpadden post that, he still has his, but now he's got other cars because same reason. And that's the one thing. I mean, I know Waco's not included in this, but that's the frustration that Waco has had for the last couple of years, is that you're paying a really good person and you're only getting 6 or 7. I mean, it's 6 or 7 good cars. The racing is good, but I mean, I like what they're doing right here. And here's the common element, or the common factor, denominator, as they say, that we're finding out tonight. It seems like what is so important, and it's really a no-brainer, is the buy down of the purse, not the buy down, but the pay down of the purse. How important that is. But again, that takes a lot of money. But we have seen races where you top heavy first, and then the other guys don't get a lot, and that's going to chase them away, because one dude's going to win. One dude's going to win, and for the rest of the guys, especially when you're traveling. But that right there, I mean, like I was saying right there, you kind of picture Texas. I mean, from 105 all the way, kind of hitting all the spots, and then finally getting yourself down to Corpus. That's pretty swift, man. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think the 105 date is key, or dates at 105, because there's so many Houston racers that travel.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dirt racers in Houston. They now kind of found a home at 105. But some of these guys with IMCA stock cars and some of the sanctioning classes that they don't sanction there at 105, they don't have anywhere to race.
Yeah.
When they race 5 cars, right? I mean, when the Houston guys come to Texana, unfortunately, the car count's not there for the modifieds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So, I mean, Eastside Hot Rod stepped up to sponsor a purse and the cars at Texana, but yeah. I mean, they were on the risk of the endangered species list and was going to get dropped. And, they got together, got a sponsor, but still only managed 5 to 6 cars a race.
Yep, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, speaking of, because what we're talking about tonight is badass race cars. We're talking about dirt late models, and we're talking about modifieds. Badass race cars, the place to get them is our man Justin over at Generation Race Cars. Before we talk to Marcus Harcrow, how about the lovely tones of our man up in the 30-degree north, whatever's going on over there, the frozen tundra, talking about our man Justin and Generation Race Cars.
Hey racers, Phil Whipple here with the Revved Up Sports Show. For the past year, you've heard us talking about our partners over at Generation Race Cars. I'm proud to say they're back again this year, and they're off to a great start. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited modifieds. All cars are built the same as you've seen in Victory Lane with drivers like Alex Hickam, Jeff Shepard, and Dean Abbey. All customers are valued and treated equally, so why not join the winning team? Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. If you're ready to join the team, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call today at 817-528-2947. You put a lot into your racing program, so why not take it to victory lane with Team GRC?
Absolutely. Might as well join Team GRC. And I bet he's going to be busy. That dude is going to be awful busy right about now.
Yeah, he sent me a text at the end of last week's show. He said, "Man, I tuned in too late. I missed the show." I said, "Don't worry, dude. You only missed your commercial plan. That's all."
Yeah, no, exactly. And I do want to mention because I actually got a couple of, I got a message today, And I got a couple of messages the other couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks. I got a message each week where folks were asking for the audio podcast. It's folks looking for it on Apple, looking for it on iTunes, and totally my bad. Totally my bad on that, where I've been messing with some different settings, doing some different things, and somehow where I go in, because the way this works, that audio podcast is actually going live right now at RevvedUpSportsShow.com. But when it's done, it podcasts itself to every damn where, one of them being iTunes. And I changed the setting and eliminated Apple. That has been resolved. I called in the tech guy. I called in myself and sat here for 3 hours trying to figure out what the fuck I did, but I got it fixed, so you should be able to rejoin that once again. So my apologies there, but just need to leave shit alone, Bobby. Just leave shit alone, man. That's what happens sometimes. But when I had a weekend like I had this weekend, I had time to figure those things out.
I don't know. I have it on SoundCloud. And then I also have it where I listen to it again on iHeartRadio. And it sent me a message the other day because I hadn't listened to the last couple of shows. It says, "Hey, don't forget to catch up on the Revved Up Sports Show." So,
good.
Depending on where you get it, it'll tell you. It'll tell you when the next podcast gets on there. So,
do want to talk about the Sprint Car Wars at the end of the show. So we'll do that at the end of the show. But I do want to touch on right quick before we get Marcus kind of shift over to asphalt. Bobby, did you see the Southern Super Series schedule is out? Of course, the ASA Stars is out. But here's kind of the southern part right here. I like this schedule. Mobile getting back in. It's kind of be like the old days again. You get the Friday-Saturday doubleheader right there happening April 26th and 27th with Pensacola and Mobile. You got dates at Hickory, Nashville, Crisp, and of course New Smyrna to get fired off early in February there with Speed Week. So it looks like another big year coming up for the Southern Super Series as they venture off and I segue with that because, talking about late model wars, now we got Sprint Car Wars. So, yeah, there you go. Good looking SSS schedule.
Yeah, it looks good. I was really surprised when they announced the doubleheader between Five Flags and Mobile. Because that's been such a really good race. They're running the doubleheader, Five Flags, on the Friday night and Saturday night, those twin 100s or twin 75s, whatever they decided to do. I mean, that seemed like that was beneficial for Racing America because they did a pay-per-view about it. It seemed like it was beneficial because you had a little bit of grandstand stuff. That was kind of a precursor to the Derby. We knew lots of people that went out there for the doubleheader there. So it's not that you can't still do the doubleheader. It's not like Mobile and Pensacola are that far apart. So
yeah, it's kind of like the old days right there. I've talked to a few people down there, and it's like, man, it's really cool, to have that back, and Mobile seems to be going in a good direction right there. I mean, they've got they did. I mean, they're not partnered, but they're associating with Tim and the group over there and Miss Pat, and I think that's something that's definitely going to help them, and that's going to be a really fun weekend to check out. So that additional information, SouthernSuperSeries.com. Getting back to business at hand tonight, I saw the Heart of Texas Speedway schedule come out a couple of weeks ago. Well, it's actually been a few weeks ago, and kind of going through that. And of course, they got the huge race. It's going to be coming up there a little bit later on in the season. I'm going through there. I see all the staples. I see all the regular stuff in there, and I didn't see the Baby Blue Harcrow Memorial, and I'm like, sure, shit, it's going to happen. I mean, I know it's going to happen, and then. Ironically, a few days later, I get a message from this dude, and he's like, "Hey, man, anytime, can I jump on?" And I'm like, "I'm just glad it's happening." Absolutely. So, welcome back into the show. It is our man Marcus Harcrow. Marcus, first of all, buddy, are you holiday ready, my man? Are you glad racing season's done for now, and you can concentrate on Santa Claus?
Absolutely. Who doesn't love getting gifts?
Yeah. Who doesn't love spending all kinds of money you don't have? Oh,
yeah, that too.
yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No, man, that's good. Everybody good up your way?
Yes, everybody's good. Yep. Obviously, y'all know firsthand, the weather's been just absolutely fabulous. Which this time of year when you don't got racing and you just want to spend some time around the house, you can go outside and literally chill, and have a good time. So, but family-wise, everybody's good. We're getting ready for the holidays to come up, and spend some time with extended family members and
Love it.
Enjoy that. And then, I'd say ramp it up, but we're already ramping it up. That's why we're here tonight. Racing season made it, well, here in the North Central Texas area may be done. Obviously, raced down at South Texas Race Ranch this weekend. Had a good show down there. Owen does a great job. Rest of the crew race on Texas, so still some racing going around if you got the itch. But, around here, we're kind of just prepping and preparing for the upcoming 2024 season.
Right on.
But yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's real good. And like you said, looked at the schedule and there was no Baby Blue Hartgrove Memorial.
Yeah.
I got multiple calls, texts, messages from people. Hey, what's up? And without disclosing everything and going into full detail, it's just like, hey, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Chill out. It takes a lot of moving pieces to put on this event. And some of those pieces need to be in place before we can, finalize things.
Yeah. And Marcus, because that really is the thing with your race. I mean, your race, not that others aren't detailed, but I mean, your race, I mean, you said it, dude. There are so many different things that are going on. I mean, the race in and of itself, I can only imagine when the damn race is done, you're probably like, you're ready for like 6 weeks of vacation when that damn thing is done, man. Talk about that, dude, because it's a lot. It is so much that you put into that thing.
It is. And a lot of it is just unseen stuff. I mean, y'all know, I mean, being on the backside of the production of a race, whether it's in the tower as an announcer or a scorer or whatever, but there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to just a nightly race. And this one, there's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes before the race even takes place. And, from sponsors and partners to the racers themselves, calling racers, hey, just wanted you to just friendly reminder, Baby Blue Hartgrove Memorial Race is coming up. Hope that you're going to be there. If you are, great. If not, I totally get it. People have lives and they can't always make every race that you'd want them to make. But all those little things, take a lot of time. And you got to squeeze those in from your, quote, 8 to 5 job.
Yeah.
You gotta do all that in the meantime. And so, but yes, it takes a lot of work just to get to the day of the race.
Mm-hmm.
The race itself, I'd say for the most part, it's fairly easy compared to the rest.
I bet. Yep.
There are some things that go on during the event, that you sometimes got to work around. Last year, Mother Nature was coming, and we had to kind of pick up the pace. There were some things that we didn't get to do that we had set out to do, for speediness of the nightly schedule. But those things don't get forgotten.
Right.
Our sponsors are great, and if we didn't get to do them, we're going to do them the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things to take care of, even up to this point. Even from the announcing of the schedule to finalizing and setting a date, which, hey, that's why we're here tonight. That's why I asked to come on and, kind of, spill the beans per se. Not really spill the beans, but use this opportunity to let everybody know when the race is going to be.
Sure.
We've had it on the July 4th weekend every year Sorry, I'm getting a message from a potential sponsor.
You take
they said
that.
they're in.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
And we'll talk about them here in a minute.
Perfect.
We're going to talk about all of them. As much time as Rodney you'll give me, I will talk about it.
Yeah. Have at it, man.
You know, but we've had it the July 4th weekend. It was kind of the first year, you know, obviously my mom passed in April. From May, June to that first weekend in July, we hustled. We hustled to get sponsors, to let drivers know. We, you know, set a standard of cars that I have yet to meet since, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You know, we announced $1,000 to win, $100 to start. It grew a little bit more. I think the official payout was like $1,500. You know, $100 to start, but the $100 to start was like the last 5 spots.
Right.
Paid more from 20th to 15th and 15th to 12th and so forth. You know, so in a nutshell, that date got set because of the time frame we were in, and we've done it. It's grown. We had grown it to a 2-day event. But as I was just stating a while ago, we had more cars the very first year than we've had the last 3. The second year, unfortunately, Mother Nature took us. We got the qualifying night in, and she said, "That's it. That's all."
Yeah.
You know, in the last 2 years, we've had great car count. Don't let me think that it's not great, because the lowest we've had is 39 cars in stock cars.
Wow.
You know, I mean, some people's big shows at the end of the year, if they get 30 cars, they're happy.
Yeah,
you know, they get a full field.
Get 24, and they're like, hell yeah, shit.
Yeah. So, you know, we've had great car count. First year just was, you know, excellent. I mean, we were at 51 cars. You know, so regroup basically, and kind of get back to where we want to be as far as what the race is about. You know, we've had 5,000 to win the last 3 years, or the last 2 that we've actually been able to race. You know, and made it a 2-day event. It's in the first weekend of July. It's hot. You know, I want to get back to what it was supposed to be to begin with. That's a race for the racers. I don't want racers to have to get hotels. I don't want racers to have to sleep in their trucks or bring their camper or spend anything extra to come race at this race. So we're doing just that. First, we're going to move the date. It's going to be April 5th.
Oh, wow.
April 5th, Heart of Texas Speedway. That was a question. Everyone's like, hey, did you change tracks?
That's
no.
what I thought. That's what I thought. But then it's like, well, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same.
You know, but yes, you know, unless you saw my name as the owner of a track or promoter of a track, that's not going to change. So, Heart of Texas Speedway, April 5th. It's a 1-day show, back to the way it was the original year. The payout, we're moving back more closer to what it was, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to stay. The sponsor that just came in, another prime example why it's not going to stay where it's at. So right now, guaranteed, it's $1,515 to win. I've got the complete payout right here for you, Rodney. It's going to pay $115 to start. Second place, $800. Then third, $7. Then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, $175, $150 for 10th. And $150 for 10th, I mean, we go back to, like I said, it's about the racers. On a normal Friday night, $150 is second.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be in second place to get $150. Well, here, 10th place gets you $150. 11th through 20th pay $125.
Nice.
And $115 to start from 21st through 25th. You mentioned 24 cars a while ago. We're going to qualify 24. We're going to give away that 25th spot just like we did the very first year. And those details are not quite ironed out, but they will be. And we'll announce how you can be eligible for that 25th guaranteed starting spot. Couple of things. I'm excited to I guess announce pit passes. They're regular $30.
Nice.
Regular show up. There's no bonus, charge more for a special event.
Yeah.
It's a regular Friday night for most everybody, except for the stock cars are going to race for more.
Yeah.
There's no entry fee.
Oh,
no entry fee.
No entry fee. Wow.
No entry fee. You pay your pit pass, and that is it.
Shit.
Show up and race. I mean, a regular Friday night, you can come to Heart of Texas on Friday night, and you can go somewhere on Saturday, and you could be richer than you were if you'd gone somewhere else on Friday night. So that's the plan. It's the 5th annual. This year, we are even more excited to announce that we've had partners that have worked with us from the get-go. One of those partners is Sniper Speed and CRS Suspension. Jeffrey Abbey, the driver of the year, I believe, is the way they go. Mm-hmm. He's a great guy inside and outside of the race car. CRS Suspension is our title sponsor. And Race on Texas, who has literally been with us, like I said, these two have been with us from the get-go. Race on Texas, I've said it before, was with us in year one when they knew they couldn't even broadcast the race. The date that we were doing it was already being broadcasted by another streaming company, and Race on Texas, Chris and the crew said, hey, we want to be a part of this. And they've been a part of it ever since. And so this year we've got a logo being made. It's going to be the CRS Suspension's 5th annual Baby Blue Harco Memorial presented by Race on Texas.
There you go.
And those are just two of the sponsors and partners that we've had from the get-go. Like I said, Sniper Speed in combination with CRS Suspension, Good Towing, David Good, instrumental in a lot of different ways, as well as this year's, the way things worked out in our schedule and everything. He's been with us. I mean, some of these companies, they're not even racing related, but they want to be a part of this event. David is one of them. Austin Cutting and Coring, Nick and Lisa Morris, they've been with us from the very beginning via whether it was ACM Services, their electrical company, or their concrete demolition company. They have, again, they want to be a part of this race. Whether it benefits their company or not, they want to be a part of it.
Right.
GW Egbert with Outlaw Chassis by 7 Motorsports. That's a new brand for him going into the 2nd year. He's continuing to grow, and he is wanting to grow his business with us just as he has with Speed Secrets. GW and Speed Secrets have been with us from the get-go as well, and we couldn't be happier for him to continue that and expanding with the Outlaw Chassis by 7 Motorsports. Ken Essenberg, Midtex Paint and Body, been with us from the get-go. Again, I mean, every single one of these that I'm going to tell you have literally been with us since year one. And because of the relationship that I have with these folks, that's why I'm able to tell you tonight that this purse is guaranteed. When
Love
I
it.
say guaranteed, this purse is guaranteed to the point where the racetrack pays zero.
Wow.
The racetrack has to put $0 into that purse. Zero. And I mean, there's a few more. Let me go through them. Simsick Motorsports, Blaine and Anthony Simsick, you know, they race factory stocks.
Mm-hmm.
They don't race stock cars, but they want to be a part of this event. They want to be a part of it. They want it to grow, and they've been with us again since the beginning. Adam Schwartz, an individual. Obviously, he's no business. That's no, you know, his portion of the contribution to this has grown every year. He's given more every year. Jason Bats Trucking. Jason's been with us from the very beginning. Even 2 years ago, he was out of trucking for a while, but he still gave.
Yeah.
Underwood Trucking, Larry Underwood, another one, you know, just wants to be a part of this event. He's been with us from the get-go. Not only does he contribute to the purse, when we have had registration, he's, you know, we've given away registrations through him. You know, he's paid for other drivers' registrations. Coming back on board this year for the second year, Wilson Traditional Metals, DL Wilson, has come on board again this year. Last year was his first. Talked to him just 2 weeks ago. And I got a dog. He's excited to come in here. And so DL Wilson with Wilson Traditional Metals has come back on again this year. You know, and through this year, there will be more, just like the one that I just got.
Yeah.
Jeff Hunter, Toyota, out of Waco, is going to come on board. They're going to be our official pace vehicle that night. Lead the field around. You know, again, just somebody who wants to be a part of a
great show.
Fabulous.
I mean, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, a meaningful event.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily about what can I get in return, but what can I do for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what this event's for.
Yeah.
That's what this event is. I've strived to want it to be. I want it to be a racers event. I want to give back to the racers. You know, we're going to have contingencies. We have race gear by Austin Witt coming on board this year. Going to do some gift certificates and some things, whatever he wants, really, for some fire suits. We got Supreme Vinyl Works coming on board. Garrett is already, like I said, he's working on our logo. And he's going to get that new logo together, you know, and whatever else he wants to, you know, throw out there for contingencies. You know, I've got Southern Sass Photography, Stacy. She is a lot of the extra help behind the scenes, making the checks, making the fly.
That lady does a lot that people don't realize. A whole lot. A whole lot.
She's like texting me this morning, and I'm like, you know, talking to her and telling her, yes, you know, this is the details, this is what it is, this is how it is, so that she can start making the teaser flyer so that we can get that out. You know, and there's just, I mean, again, and then the Heart of Texas Speedway family, you know, Jerry, Selby, you know, and Amanda, everyone there working with us. And to cap it all off, it's the 5th annual, like I stated. We're going to do something we haven't done, and that's we're going to get some shirts made.
Sweet. Nice.
Yeah. So we're going to have some CRS Suspension 5th Annual Baby Lou Harco Memorial presented by Race on Texas t-shirts.
Nice.
Hope to start on those pretty soon so that we can get that artwork done long before deadline.
Oh yeah. Way ahead of the hell. Sell them in advance. I mean, I know. I know this. This past weekend there at the race ranch. I mean, they were selling gear like Black Friday. They were doing Black Friday specials and all this stuff. You know, so what's St. Patrick's special? Maybe you can do. I guess that's the next thing right there.
So, but yes, that's our plan. Some of you, just to kind of, like I said, it kind of goes back to the reason we're having this event. And the namesake of the event, April. April is the month that my mom passed. April is also my dad, who we lost last year, his birthday month. So April's pretty sentimental. My wife's birthday is in April. So April, whether it be that first weekend of April or maybe as the calendars move through the years, it might be the last weekend of March. However, the timing works out. Is our plan to stay. It's early in the season. Drivers aren't worn out. Race cars still look good.
Race cars aren't beat to shit. Yeah.
So yeah, that's our plan. It's going to be cooler.
That'll
we
help.
hope that Mother Nature, April showers bring May flowers, but I can't. We've had races in July and it got rained out. She will do what she wants to do.
That's right. Out of our control, dude. That's exciting. I love the date change, man, and I think it brings it all full circle. And as always, dude, you let us know as we get closer. Let us know how to help you, man. We need to make this one huge.
Well, I appreciate it, Rodney, and just allowing me to get on here and kind of, spell it out.
Sure.
That's a big help in itself. Like you said, it takes a lot of work to get to this point. And we're, still 4 months away.
That's right.
So, I will keep everybody up to date. We're going to be doing, if you're not already following, make sure you follow the Baby Blue Harker Memorial Shootout page on Facebook. Hit up our sponsors, if nothing else, send them a message and say thank you. Thank you for supporting this event. Even if you're not a racer, you're just a fan, just tell them thank you, because at the end of the day, without them, this event may not be be what it is, let alone be here at all.
That's right.
And so just say thank you. Like their videos, like their pages. As we share them here in the next coming weeks before the holidays, and then we're going to ramp it back up again after the holidays. The purse will continue to grow. I firm believe that, because, like I said, the purse is already guaranteed.
Yep.
We're there. Anything just going to make it grow further.
Yep.
One other thing. I got my trophies over here, so it made me think about it. 317 awards.
Oh hell. There you go.
We talked about them. We're gonna get Owen to back on board again this year to make our A-Main trophy. We may even do some qualifying trophies because the format's gonna be a little different since we're back to one day, and do like some heat race qualifying winner trophies. So even if you don't win the main event, you'll probably still get to go home with some cool hardware.
It's cool stuff. Good stuff, man. Cannot wait. April will be here. Get to work, dude. April will be here that fast.
Yes,
That's my birthday month too. So it's like it'll be here that fast. So looking forward to it, dude.
It's Jason Batt's birthday, and he says that everyone's supposed to let him win. So,
shit. There you go. There you go. I'm sure those rotors will be glowing. I'm sure dragging them brakes.
I'm sure they will.
There's no doubt about it. Marcus, thanks for doing it here, my man. We're looking forward to it. Like I said, man, reach out to us and let's kick some ass, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Rodney, and Bobby. Good to see you too, sir.
Can't wait. April's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes,
You
sir.
betcha. All right, guys. All right, Marcus. All right, dude. Take care, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Y'all, you too. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah. Y'all be safe. Be well. You bet. There he goes. So I like that date right there for all the reasons he was talking about. All of that. I was there in April last year at working a race, and Marcus was going through there with his dad, and that when he said April, I was like, oh man, that
Is that Easter weekend?
I don't know. I don't know when that is. I get all confused, like he was talking about.
It's the weekend after Easter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
but it's also the cup goes head to head against the cup race in TMS.
Hell, nobody goes to that.
I don't think it's gonna matter, but that just happens to be on the calendar.
But actually, that's actually a good thing, because if you wanted to do that, you could swing through there. You go to that on Friday and then head on up. Unless you wanted, hell, they ain't doing nothing on Friday anymore anyway. So it's
trucks run on Friday.
Oh, is it Friday? Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can factor that in there as well. So it's on the way. Like people used to tell me, oh man, I see Texas Motor Speedway over there in Waco every time I go through there. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
it's like no, they race better there at the one in Waco. But yeah, so there you go. April 5th, 1 day show, 15 to win. 10th is going to be 150. It drops down. See, now there exactly is back to what we were talking about, the way things kind of drop down right there. I like what he's doing. I like the 1 day show. I like the 1 day show. And I mean, I didn't dare ask, but I'm sure that there's a plan in place, for a rain date. I mean, I hate to say it, God forbid, whatever may happen there, but being a 1 day show makes it a lot easier to maybe coordinate that. So I'm sure that you will have a lot of IMCA stock cars there, because like I said, IMCA modifieds and stock cars, man, you can't go wrong with either one of those. Baby Blue, Harcrow, Memorial, and now, all the great folks that he's talking about being a part of that. April 5th, we'll work on that more as we get closer. Bob, before we get out of here, World of Outlaws and High Limit. So here we go, and you've got some of the, it's like National Signing Day, where people are saying where they're going to race here with all the different stuff. You've got you're going to have charters, and of course the charters are going to be 5 at the end of this year, 5 at the end of next year, so forth and so on. The way that's all going to work, and it's been very funny to me that reading on Twitter, because that's where we all go to get our news, or X, where we all go to get our news. It's like when I see the thing there with the charters, and it's like a lot of folks, man, that is amazing. Man, that the stability that's going to give the teams, and that's such a great idea.
Yeah, that's the same ones that bitch about NASCAR,
right? It's like,
although NASCAR's got their own problematic with their charters, they don't get their shit together.
Yeah, well, yeah. These charters are going to save teams money. But yeah, I mean, it, like you said yesterday, and then at the end of 25, when they start splitting the streaming and Flow, I mean, man, Flow don't fuck around, do they? Yeah, because that's Flow's money. Well, yeah,
that's. I mean, it's not going to be a lot of money, because the streaming's not going to be. I mean, they rule the streaming market by far over the others.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a lot of money. But anytime a race team can get another source of revenue stream of money, that's all that matters. They don't give a shit where it comes from.
Yeah. And I think that what that gives the appearance of, well, I mean, it doesn't give the appearance. What it does is it shows that the series is actually invested to where they're going to give that additional dollars that they could put in their pocket, that they're going to pass it on to those chartered teams. And the thing about it, I mean, I guess by that point it'll be 10. So, it is. I mean, it's a really cool thing. It's something totally different for dirt. And like you said, I mean, what this is going to do, I mean, these NASCAR teams are going to start with, hey, aren't we going to be streaming, TV revenue, blah, blah, blah. It's about to get real damn, man. What happened to just having fun? God bless America, man. It's
not too big.
I know, and that's where it's. I mean,
it's only fun to watch for some people. It's not fun to be in the middle of it anymore.
That's exactly right, and it's like, I mean, the whole thing is dirt. Dirt is, it's never been a matter of comparing either one, but dirt is having them growing pains that asphalt racing continues to go through, and let me tell you, dirt friends, they don't ever go away. They just get bigger. And they grow, and there's more. So be ready. There's more to come. There's more to come. Right now it's just a sprint car thing.
Now who knows? I mean, I anticipate Flow Racing giving more money away than Dirt Vision given to the World of Outlaws.
Yeah, I don't know if they give them anything. I mean, I would assume they do. I mean, I would think. I mean, for content, but this is apparently, I don't know what content agreements and all of that. I mean, I don't know how any of that works, but
Yeah.
it, at some point, I don't know if tracks will be like, hey, what about our part of the streaming? what about our part of the streaming thing using our facilities and whatever? It's golly, man. Remember, whatever happened.
Well, nobody knew how much money the NASCAR got from TV until 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Because without any fans in the stands, we were able to go racing in NASCAR based upon TV money alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now don't get me wrong, it hurt purses, but when you're able to run without racing in front of 80, 90,000 people, paying customers, that's when you knew the TV money was there. And I don't think people spent more time bitching about the streaming aspect of this next NASCAR TV deal. They signed a $1 billion TV deal. That's impressive for damned old cars running around in circles.
I know. Yeah, that's the frustrating part, and I'm sure if people were getting a cut of that, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But to see the growth, I mean, everything has grown. Everything is expensive, and it's not a matter of, I mean, it's supply and demand. I mean, so much of it. I mean, it's a product that people want to watch, and now with this right here, dirt, the bigger dirt series. A lot of folks have said, well, that it's just as good as NASCAR or whatever else. Well, now you're not quite at that level, man, but you're climbing that level, and you're about to get into having to deal with the problems that they deal with. I mean, I see so much of the like with the super late model stuff on pavement. It's a mess. I mean, it's a mess between streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Who streams this? Who's going to stream that? Does the track get to pick? The track wants this streamer. Well, the sanctioning body wants this streamer. Well, but this streamer paid for the rights to this track. Well, but that doesn't matter. This race is being sanctioned by this bunch, and that's what's about.
It's just a gigantic circle cluster right there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's our man Doug Rollo checks in. Doug, man, I tell you, man, we must be doing something right. We got dudes like that checking in right here. Dirt track racing industry has more tools and more marketing tools than ever before. That's racing in general. But I love what he's saying right there, because dirt has had to get to that point. It's an exciting time for local dirt track racing. That's very true. But it's been one of those things to where they've had to do it. I mean, I've heard a lot of folks mention Race on Texas, and again, yes, this show is simulcast on Race on Texas. Look at Race on Texas in the last. I'm just talking about the last 3 years, maybe four. Let's say the last 4 years. Look at the transformation of that. You think Chris and Harry and those guys have wanted to spend those thousands of dollars that they've had to spend to do the shit like they did at Corpus? I guarantee you they didn't want to spend it, but if you want to be a player, you have to. And that's what's happened with dirt track racing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the parallel is there, right? The growth is there between the streaming and all of that. Like we said last week, you can flip on Flow Racing from February on, and every night of the week there's going to be some kind of sprint car race or some kind of dirt track race on that you can watch. So
you can turn it on now. I mean, you turn it on now. There's no racing happening right now that I know of. I try to check those schedules. You turn it on right now, and they're running something. There is some content that's on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's where, with a lot of the others, I mean, you have to go like, oh, okay, I want to go watch, whatever. I want to go find that. That one, you turn it on, it's 24/7 channel. It's just going. There's something going. And they sell a lot of prescriptions, and I mean, all the streamers. I mean, they're doing a great job, and I know we'll definitely in the off season go down that rabbit hole, because it's gonna come up. Is streaming hurting racing? Hell no, it ain't, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, I mean, Bobby, the other day we were talking about radio. I mean, look at how much of radio has gone to this kind of shit. To where they're doing this. I mean, they're doing this, and it's it's a different time, and racing and dirt track racing has done a real damn good job adapting. I will say, I think asphalt set a pretty damn good table for them to figure out how to, do that, because it's a lot, man.
Yeah,
it really is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Lots of moving parts and pieces that people don't realize until you've been in the war room, in the back room. A lot of people don't realize a lot of the stuff that goes on with the streaming wars. It's just like, it's a streaming war to the content. That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and series and different. They're going to play those streamers head to head, and that's where it gets mega competitive, just like everything else. Good show tonight, man. We talked to little Robbie Starnes, talking about just a great weekend for him, winning there at the South Texas Race Ranch. I love the insight right there where he was talking about kind of the struggles right there. I love when you asked him about, why can't it just get the grip? I mean, because it's those really are so fun to watch, man. I love dirt late models, and
they're fun to watch, but not 5 or 6.
That's exactly right. It's
not fun to call 5 or 6 racers.
Right. And like everything else, it does come down to money. But I mean, I think he gave a very good blueprint right there of how you can figure all of that out as to how to make it work. Hey, I didn't check. Chris Workman was checking in as well, as well as our man Terrible Tim Sewell. Ricky Begnaud was on there as well. Hey, your dad was on there. What's he doing? What's he doing awake right now? Well, my dad was on there? That was earlier. Yeah. Mine was.
I wasn't paying attention.
Mine was too, but your dad actually commented.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, you paying attention to fantasy football this week?
I don't even think I set the lineup. I know.
Yeah, you didn't. Because you're playing me, and I am kicking your ass.
Yeah, I didn't. I know I didn't do it in Pensacola. So yeah, I don't think I've said it the last 3 weeks, dude. I haven't meant to check.
Although you have 3 guys playing tonight, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't meant to check out, but I think I've checked out. But anyway.
Yeah, you're not dead last like Will. So.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right. As long as I don't have to do anything stupid, that'll be fine. Hey, Milton Hope checking in. He says, "Go Runners." Looks like y'all's man's going to come be my edge rusher over here in Austin.
Yeah, it's a damn shame that we lost our best defensive player, but we'll see. I don't know though. They've heard the grades might not transfer. He wants to graduate before he goes pro.
Yeah,
and the grades may not transfer as easy, despite both being UT system schools. Rumors of LSU and Alabama making a run for it too. So
got that.
A kid growing up in Smithton Valley.
Yeah.
Dude, he's always wanted to grow up be a Longhorn, probably. So
got that firsthand from a buddy of mine over at Horns 247 that the grades are definitely that they will not transfer, and the graduation date is imperative. It has to happen that way, and so that's something they'll have to figure out how to get around right there. We figured out stems. We know, sounds legit to me. I know they've been working on it since at least August the 6th, and it sounds like the tracks are on board. I love how he said he reached out to the tracks, and the tracks were like, well, just make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Just make a plan. Make a
plan. Make it happen.
Make a plan, and we'll make it happen. So yeah, good stuff happening right there. 105. The Cotton Bowl, South Texas Race Ranch, I-37. Who'd I miss? Texana Raceway Park. So looking like some fun stuff happening there as well. And then right there, Marcus Hargrove, very special to him, obviously for a lot of reasons. And you can tell. That's why it's just like, let him tell us all about it. I mean, because it's that's near and dear. That is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that dude puts into it, and he's got a lot of people that help him. And that'll be April the 5th. Thank goodness, happening at Heart of Texas Speedway, because it just wouldn't seem right happening anywhere else.
Yeah, no, that's the right place for that race to go, and that's its home. That's where it's going to stay.
That's right. Fun week coming up. What is going on this week? Got a kiddo graduating on Friday from UNT, and other than that, I think
next week's show. I have to talk to you about next week's show because I may not be here.
Yeah,
and then the week after is Christmas, so
we'll do a Christmas show this year on that day. No, can't do it that day because on Christmas, I got something to do on Christmas. I got to watch the 49ers and the Ravens. I got to watch a Super Bowl preview. No, that ain't no Super Bowl preview. My team's going to be in the Super Bowl this year.
Milton, it looked good last night.
Milton, what the hell is wrong with your quarterback? That guy, I'll tell you, calm him down. You need to get on the phone with him with that Milton Hope fatherly figure voice and tone, and tell him, son, when you break a rule, you get penalized. His wife was bitching last night on the Twitter. I explained to her, Britt, football 101. When you do something wrong, you're going to get penalized. It's like life. When you speed, you're going to get a ticket.
Hell of a move for Travis Kelce, though. That was impressive for a man his size to spin and pass that ball. That was impressive, even though it didn't count. But that was pretty impressive at live speed. So
yeah. And to the Player Real team, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Dallas and Buffalo. That's going to be down and freaking dirty right there. When the Cowboys play this team, the Dolphins, that'll be shit. They better have 3 digits on the scoreboard for each team for that one. But getting hot and heavy in the NFL, getting to be a hell of a lot of fun right here. NFC, it looks like 3 teams solidifying themselves. But AFC's going to get, as Owen says, a little bit Western right here as we get to the end.
Yeah, despite the Texans shit in the bed yesterday. So,
ooh, and that'd have been such a big day for them yesterday. I mean, the Colts fall, the Jaguars go down. I mean but they got bigger problems there because the man hit his head really, really hard. And I felt horrible because I had tweeted out because there was one play where there was roughing the passer and they just pushed him. And then, like, the next series, they laid him out flat on his skull, and I was like, oops, sorry. I didn't mean to make that happen right there.
Didn't mean to make that jinx. So,
but, anyway, yeah, getting fun with the NFL. That's what we're going to have to ride here. But January, I mean, we're racing again. I mean, there's no rest for the weary. It is time to get going. What is the first event that Race on Texas will broadcast in 2024? I don't exactly know what their first one will be. I know in February there's an enduro in Waco. I don't know if that's when they'll start. Hopefully. I don't know if any of them are.
They may do Owen's indoor kart deal.
Oh yeah.
If he's still doing that,
could be a part of that. Yeah, could be a part of that. Minnesota wins. And that was inside. Yeah, Joe Spillman checking in says maybe the enduro. That's kind of what I was thinking. 3-0 indoors, Milton. If that was at old Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota, snowing and shit over there where Staubach threw the pass to Drew Pearson in 1975, I'd be like, okay, 3-0. But man, those dudes are playing in the palatial confines of Las Vegas. God dog it, man. That set football back about 30 years right there, that little contest.
Vegas lost their ass on that.
Oh man, they're like, can we send these guys back to Oakland? Can we have somebody else? Doesn't Jacksonville, don't they have attendance problems? Can we have them instead? Give us somebody, anybody else.
No, they're trying to put a new stadium in Jacksonville. The Jags are going to play at Daytona for a season.
Oh, that's right. Well, they're winning now. Yeah, they're going to win. So yeah, they're winning. So they're going to get a lot of folks. So who would be the other one? Man, I remember when, I mean, not that I wish ill, I know it was a very tough time in New Orleans when the Saints came to San Antonio, man. I always thought when the Saints played at the Alamo Dome from Katrina, imagine that in of all cities in San Antonio, the San Antonio Saints. Man, that would have been
nice.
And that's when nobody gave a shit about the Saints over there in New Orleans when they were, not. It's before Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's when New Orleans. That's when the New Orleans NOK Hornets ended up playing down in Oklahoma City. That's how the Thunder got started.
Gosh, dog, man, I really thought, I'm like, well, there's San Antonio's NFL team, but depending who you ask, San Antonio Spurs aren't going to allow that. I don't know. I didn't know they had that kind of pull.
Hell, San Antonio couldn't get in a Major League Soccer, an MLS team before Austin. They're not going to get a NFL team before Austin.
San Antonio got a Major League Baseball team. That would be massive. They would pull in, and I've always heard right there that New Braunfels, that Cibolo area, all of that right there. Because you would pull. San Antonio would be a spot right there where it would be easy for the fans from Mexico to come in. They would totally support that team, but now you got Astros and Rangers and I mean, there was even mentions here of one time something here in Round Rock, and I'm like, man, are you kidding? Dell Diamond sits right in between Arlington and Houston. I don't think plus it would need a major expansion. But I think San Antonio would do better with baseball, I think, if they were going to have anything. But I don't know.
They do good to fill up they do feel good to fill up the Alamo Dome for the Roadrunner games. So,
well, I know what else is going to be at the Alamo Dome this year is going to be now. Who is it? Def Leppard again.
Def Leppard, Journey,
and
who else?
It's Steve Miller Band.
Steve Miller Band.
Steve Miller Band. The Greg Miller Band, former racer over at Longhorns. Well, Steve Miller too. the asphalt.
Steve Miller was a racer too.
The asphalt cowboy. And now he was a rock and roller all along. Finally, Joe says looking for a return. Oh man, oh my goodness, how about that? Oh no. The 44 Enduro car making a return. Is that going to be with my man behind the wheel? Is that going to be with Joe Spillman back behind the wheel once again? With a bucket full of Mick Ultras in the back seat right behind, right over there where the battery box is. Woo, daddy. Look out. Race on Texas better cover that one because that's going to be one to see right there.
Yeah, that'd be fun right there.
Joe, if you need a backup driver, if you get tired, I'll take my suit. I'm good for about 10 laps. And that's once I get my fat ass in there. I'm good for about 10 laps. I'll help you out. We can do like Le Mans. We can do like Le Mans and do it that way. But yeah, Race On will get that schedule out and let everybody know what's going on. All right, you guys, hope your week is good. What was I going to ask you, Bobby? Holiday plans for you? Oh, yeah. So we'll definitely figure out next week and figure out the next few shows as to when or if they'll happen. The thing is, it's like every time that we think about maybe taking a couple of days off, or a couple of weeks off or something in the off season, something starts happening to where there's news. I mean, obviously it was, I think, Bobby, even at one time I said to you, like right around Snowball, I'm like, let's just kind of lay off for a week. And then the Stims thing broke. So it's like, oh, okay, we probably need to get that covered. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm going one last little logistical hurdle to go over. And then we're going to go up to Frisco for a couple of days for the UTSA bowl game. And then I found out we're going to the Texas State bowl game after Christmas too. So,
man, I'll be in my recliner watching all that shit. Actually, I think I'm going to be in New Orleans on New Year's Day. So ain't nothing wrong with that. That should be good. All right, friends, hope you enjoyed the program. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Hit RevvedUpSportsShow.com. Check out all the archives. Everything is there for you. Bobby, have a great week, my man. Take care of yourself.
I will do the best I can.
And we'll do it again sometime next week. #Real Race Talk. It is the Revved Up Sports Show.